So for this video, I'm going to go ahead and do the same sort of start that I did to the last one. So the last one I shared with you was just blending the orange into the brown using a paintbrush. We're going to start the same way, and then we're going to use a sponge to kind of blend the colors together. So to get the colors down onto the paper, I am going to use a flat brush because I am painting in a rectangle, and this is kind of the easiest brush for that. So I am going to be generous with the paint. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and apply this kind of quickly. And I am going to apply it about 3/4 of the way across. So look at how much paint I'm using for this. Being generous with it. And I'm going to start to fade it out right in here. Okay, here we go. At this point, I'm going to rinse and blot. I'm going to pick up my brown in just a moment. And then I'm going to add it from the opposite side. Dip my paintbrush a couple times. So I've rinsed and blotted my paintbrush. It's now clean and picking up the brown. I'm going to add some of it from the other side. And right now I'm on, I don't know, dip number 2, and I'm going to start to fade it out, flipping my brush a little bit, fading it out. You can normally do 2 to 3 dips. I like to fade mine out earlier because I want more orange than the brown. Okay, so at this point everything is kind of nice and wet. And what I'm going to do at this point is sort of in the area where they blend together, I'm going to take my sponge. Now this is really only slightly damp. It does not have a whole lot of water on it. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't have really much of anything on it. And what I'm going to do is I am going to pick up some of that wet orange and very gradually I'm just going to sponge it back and forth into the brown area. Note, I'm not wiping it. I'm not, clawing at my paper. I'm just very gently blotting it. Okay, and so this is what I have so far. At this point, I can rinse my sponge, blot it off, okay? And if I feel like this area in here is a little bit too, it's a little bit too brown, what I can do is, with a clean sponge, add more, with a clean paintbrush, add more orange to that area. All right, so I'm gonna pick that up. I'm gonna add it right in here. This area I feel like is a little dark, and I can continue with that clean sponge, slightly damp, kind of blotting it into that area. Okay, we may end up doing this type of technique with the glaze rather than paint for our final product. So I wanted to just be sure to share with you what blending with the sponge could look like to kind of create your color fade or your ombre. So just using that clean dry sponge, clean slightly damp sponge to create that fade, it may be a better use for us for our glazes.